whatever they want in their life, I think it's a great achievement. So I think Cholamandal has done these two things. And it continues as an artist village, and it has to continue as an artist village. And so please don't have this misunderstanding that Cholamandal is a school of painting. And we belong to the Madras art movement, and it's part of the Madras art movement. Yeah.
If you could just then elaborate on the Madras art movement as distinct from Cholamandal.
Yeah. The Madras art movement, when in 60s, early 60s, it was Panikkar who sort of generated this interest. And we had excellent artists, as I explained to my teachers, like Munuswamy, Santana Raj and others. So Reddappa Naidu, Janaki Ram. So we sort of, as I was explained to you earlier, we questioned the identity thing. And so the Madras movement took place by this sort of a discussion amongst the artists as to their identity problem. And so every one of them, if you see Janaki Ram's works, the way he went to copper and the way he did leaves, and Reddappa Naidu very lyrical drawings, and he brought in various calligraphic things. And then we had Munuswamy, who was a fantastic abstract painter, and Santana Raj, very good figurative artist with lots of the landscapes and things like that. But the thing is that Madras, there was one thing is that there was a linear quality in the artists of Madras, and at the same time they also went into various things like tantric art or folk art or things like that, and they derived all their art forms from these earlier art forms. And so then we started projecting this as a group of Madras movement, and we showed it in other cities in India. And then it really was branded as a Madras art movement. And I'm very happy that they recognize that this is a sort of a Madras contemporary art movement of the 60s and 70s. And of course, the thing is that most of the artists who studied, who were part of this, are all part of our Madras Art School. 99.9% of the artists, who are practicing in Chennai, they're all from the Madras Art School. That is one advantage. At the same time, also I feel it's a disadvantage. Because why I'm saying this is, I also have a connection with the things which is happening in Karnataka, in Bangalore. I always associated myself with various activities, art activities in Bangalore. And I felt that, Bangalore has a different type of attitude towards art. Because most of these students there, art students, they didn't have a big institution. So they went to Baroda, to Shantiniketan, to Delhi and other places. They brought back the influences from these places. And so all kinds of art does exist in Bangalore. And so I'm in the middle of, one side that I belong to the Madras school where I did all these things, and in the Bangalore, which is completely a new setup. But still, my connection with Madras is very strong, and quite a few people here are who have already got my works with them, and I really appreciate to be with you all today. And I'm so happy that today the Madras has opened up itself to everything possible, and this sort of what we are noticing in the last 4 or 5 days, which should really make it a sort of a Madras as an important art center in the south. It was really necessary. It was necessity, and I'm so happy that it is happening. And then, unfortunately, the other thing which we never had in our institution in Chennai was art history department. We never had that department. That was the real drawback. And so we had to depend completely on our own, reading and things like that. And even we didn't have, critics of, who academic people with academic background. It's only the recent past we have got people like Ashrafi Bhagat and who are now trying to sort of analyze the works more academically. Earlier, most of the writers were all like Joseph James, who had an economics background, but he sort of got sort of educated under Padikkar, in the sense looking towards art and things like that. So we had to depend on these sort of writers, Ranjali Sarkar and Joseph James and others. So one thing, the drawback I suppose generally we have in Madras is that we did not have this art history. That is, I'm so sorry about it to say that, but it is true that it does not really help many of the artists in here.
And just the other thing that you were discussing with me earlier about how there's, we've never been an ageist society, but now, you were saying how in terms of, when galleries are asked what should we collect, there is this pressure for younger artists all the time, whereas there should be, the sense that an artist achieves his best work or his peak with a certain amount of experience and reaches his prime. Would you share your thoughts about that as well?
See, I belong to a generation when we never depended on galleries. And we perhaps were satisfied eating one meal a day at Cholamandala Artist Village when we started the whole place. And so even the recent recession, the last 4 or 5 years, when a lot of artists were saying that, how to exist and all those things, I said, I can still exist. I know how to exist. So the recession really didn't affect people like me. And the system, I feel, is that, when the market, when it starts dictating, it's very dangerous. I think artists should have control over what he or she wants. It's not just leaving it to the. Sorry, I'm saying in front of all the gallery owners, but I think we should not play into the hands of market. I think artists should have a control over their price line. If they have control over their price line, I think these sort of recessions or whatever happened earlier, like big boom in the market, wouldn't have taken place. And so people who created this sort of a boom, where are they today? They just left these artists to themselves. That's a very dangerous thing. I don't think we should depend on this sort of a market. And India is progressing very well. Traditional art galleries have done excellently well, and they still are doing very well. And I think we should go about that way.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vasudev. Does anybody in the audience have questions at this stage for him? Yes. Is there anybody who hasn't asked a question who wants to? Yeah? Yeah, sure.
You said your work is about fantasy and that sort of mythology also. Is there any particular story that you revisit very often and that you find it a source of inspiration again and again?
I don't take any particular story. Generally, it is mythology in general, and our Indian mythology has got so many stories. And my grandfather was a very good storyteller. Also my mother. My mother was a painter and a storyteller. So for me, these stories which I had heard from my young days started coming particularly into my work when I started painting Theatre of Life series. And at the same time, the later part of my life when I met A.K. Ramanujan, who was a very good storyteller himself, folk stories. So it all came back to me. So, and I feel that so much of fantasy, is created in our mythology. And it's very interesting to create your own fantasies around that.